are.
So how does that work then?
So welcome. We've few and far between at the moment. A few other people have said yes, they'll be hopping on, but they've not joined yet. So hey ho, we'll play with who turns up. I just really wanted to. Here we go. Tom's coming on now. Just really wanted to kind of give you an update, really, about what's happened in this past week. Well, it's been amazing. It's been an amazing week, despite the fact that I, as you well know, have been struggling with shingles and stuff. And thank you to all the people who've been looking after me, which has been really, really lovely, really nice. But it's been an incredible week, despite the fact that I've had low energy levels and everything. And it's now kind of we're on our last day here before we leave at 5 o'clock tonight. I really wanted to bring on Dave to just instill sort of, I mean, he's so good at explaining things, and I just kind of, my memory banks kind of have to go and read things before I can do this. So
he's on the picture.
Sorry?
His picture's up, so he must be on.
Oh, he is on. I can see him. He's there.
Yeah.
I can see him. You're not looking at the right one then. You can see him there. He's in his bedroom
Yeah.
at the moment. So,
I can see him.
So
Dave, he's in the executive suite, aren't you, Dave?
He is.
Yeah.
His own
He's
pool.
I
don't know how they figured that one out.
Leader council, isn't it?
Yeah, we've been blessed with a great week. Our own pool, that's an infinity pool, sort of all the way along 10 villas, right on the sort of bottom part of the complex. So yeah, we've got a nice sitting area. And yeah, we've been blessed this week.
Yeah, all of us have. It's been amazing, absolutely incredible. So, so welcome all to all of them, all the people here. Few more will join. We'll carry on, as I said. Dave, just kind of give me a quick sum up about this week, if you can, a quick one.
I think these trips are always really sort of multifaceted in regards to what you come with an expectation, and I can always guarantee you it'll always be exceeded. That's the first thing. Sometimes we're thinking about how the resort itself, we come with a holiday mindset, but you get so much more than that. You do get some respite, but you get some re-energized, instilled belief, vision. And when you get around, that saying, proximity is power. The challenge is proximity is powerful, or it can be draining, right? So whatever the proximity is, you've got to get around the people that feed you, and the conversations that Sue's had, the passing of one another. But to get around Orion and Hilda, the corporate staff, and no one, you're really valued. You're valued as a field that they know that they work for you. That's the first thing. The second thing is that, I come away with this week. We're playing too small. We're playing too small. And if we really, really understood, we already know enough. We already know enough. We know what to do, how to contact. We know what to say. We've got tools. So the company's bringing on new tools. We're going to be streamlining the team effectively as about the next couple of weeks on the next team huddle. But when Orion said about a year ago that they want to be a $1 billion company in the next 6 years, well, they really want to. They reckon realistically 6 years, but they're really running for the next 3. Right, they're running for $1 billion in the next 3. But in the next 3 years, or 3 to 6 years, the industry, our space of industry is 240 billion a year right now. They reckon it's going to grow by 80 billion in the next 3 to 6 years. The industry. So new people joining the industry, new business being generated. And Orion said, well, right now we only want 1 billion of the new 80 billion, not even of the 240 billion. So even right now, we are still a dot in the industry. So, and then yesterday, he really dropped a bombshell. He really dropped a bombshell. Some of us would say, well, it's okay. We've got to see big, we've got to understand. But Zinzino is in that very sweet spot now where whether we do or don't, they're going to do it. Whether we do or don't, new leaders will be attracted to Zinzino.
Mhm.
And one of the things that you may have shared it with a little bit with the group yesterday, share options has always been something. If you go president, you get 100 share options. And a lot of people don't understand share options.
No, not 100, 100,000.
100,000.
1,000, yeah, sorry. So I thought 100,000.
100's not
100,000
too exciting.
100,000 share options that's been available for us all, right? So, but for many who don't understand, yeah, it sounds exciting, 100,000 share options, and whatever the price may be at that time, there'll be a price you get offered at that you have to realize in a period of time, but you still have to come up. And so this is just an example. Share price today is €8. Maybe you go president and they offer you them at 4.5 euros. But when you realize those, you have to still find 450,000 euros. And then you don't know what it's going to be. If we're going to hit 1 billion, 2, 3 billion, the share price is going to go up. But what it is, we don't know. So that's always been the case. And Orion says, I don't understand why people don't want to go president. I don't understand why presidents go presidents and they don't take the share options. Because, right, it's crazy. He says, so we got a new option as of today. Go president and you will receive 200,000 euros worth of shares. So no options, you will receive. And at today's current share price, that's 25,000 shares that you now own. Not a share option, that you own them outright.
Did they give any detail of that on how they're going to make that work? Is it going to be new share issues or warrants that are put in place based on expectation? Yeah. Okay, all right, yeah, I get it. That's fine. And
so,
by the way, if I were president, if you've got an option at 4,000 at €4 and it's worth 8, you'd be able to borrow that. I'd quite happily borrow that, sell half of them, and then liquidate it. So it's it's just it's a financial exercise. Perhaps they're not teaching presidents that's what they should do. Anyway, that's just a personal comment.
But for the matter, and that's for the financial stewardship of Nigel, right? But the masses don't have that. And Orion said, I went to hedge fund school, so I understood short options and long options. But keep it simple. Hey, you do X, you make X, Y from your income, but we're going to help you generate wealth. And there's going to be multi-millionaires through the share value over the next 5 to 10 years. So go president, get 200,000 euros worth of shares, go elite president, so the next rank up, you get 300,000 more euros worth of shares. So now you're sitting there at 500,000 euros worth of shares. Today's climate, it's probably 55 to 60,000 shares. Yeah, the last option was 100,000 share options, but here you actually own the 60,000 shares. So you go president, you go elite, and then you go global. In global, you get another 500,000 euros worth of shares. So those 3 ranks, you would be given 1 million euros worth of shares. You go 1-star global and you will receive 1 million euros worth. So combined, those 4 ranks will generate 2 million euros worth of shares, which is around 250,000 shares. Now they're worth €8 today, but they know that they want to get it to 100 euros in the next 10 to 15 years. So all of a sudden, we are a AAA rated business anyway, but we have a AAA rated market potential. We got 500 million people already taking Amigas that don't work, so we can test those. We got 1.5 billion that are on some form of supplement or nutritional program anyway that understand health, and then we got 6 billion that aren't. That's our 3 feeding pools. And so people start to realize you've got to start walking around 600 healthpreneurs in Lanzarote, and you realize we're thinking too small. And the only difference is how quickly, as Art says, are we going to tell a story? How many times are we going to connect with somebody? How many times are we going to ask them, is health important to you? Guys, one thing, personal growth, most people on here don't need more personal growth. Most people don't need, you know, join, select a pack, let's help you go through your fast starts. How do we do that? We make a list, we show you how to contact invite, we show you the plan, we follow up, we rotate. We don't need anything else. But here's the key. I sat down with Orion, had an opportunity to have a two-on-one with Kirsten, and I went to Orion frustrated. Anybody frustrated? Anybody frustrated? Only Nigel. And I went and Orion, I said to Orion, I come to you so often. And I go home to my wife, and my wife says to me, well, have you found what you're looking for? Did he give you that nugget? And I've realized that you can go to Sue and Nigel, you could go to whoever you want to go to, thinking they know the secret for you, and they don't. They don't. Because I said to Orion, the amount of times I've come to you, and I think, Orion, you think I'm not as enthusiastic as you want me to be, because I'm around you. And when I'm around someone who has what I want, I'm quiet because I'm learning. But when I'm not around him, I go and do what I need to do as passionately as I do it. So the only thing I think most people are missing is passion, because you don't have to have it all figured out.
Yeah.
And this is what he said to me. And I'm going to share a story with you. And he said to me, Dave, you're like a caged tiger, but you've got to find your key. I said, I don't know what it is. I said, great. I'm coming to you to find out for you to help me, and you can't help me. He says, no. All I know is that when you find your key and you let yourself out of the cage, you'll be dangerous. Dave Atkin, he doesn't need to go anywhere else to have people. He knows if he knows there's something holding him back. He doesn't know what it is yet. Right? Thomas knows what is holding him back, or there's something holding him back, but he doesn't know what it is yet. Because the plan's easy. But we spend so much time looking for the key rather than taking action that eventually the key reveals itself. Right? The key will reveal itself. But we know enough right now to actually buy our freedom, build our freedom with what we know. And the thing is, 7% of what we do is our words, 38% was our attitude, but the rest of it was, how do we embody that? How do we convey? And that's where Orion said, Dave, when I get around you, you don't seem as enthusiastic as the Stuttlers. I said, no, because when I'm around you, I want to learn from you. But you don't see me on a call. You don't see me doing a live meeting. You don't see me doing the things I need to do to build my business. But when I'm around a mentor, I'm quiet. He says, Dave, that's no good to me. This is Orion. That's no good to me. I need to see if you're hungry, because I don't care about your numbers. I want to know if you're hungry. He said, I want to know if you're hungry, you'll chase me for help. And I said, oh, we used to have a saying, the squeaky wheel gets the oil. But you know what? I'm low maintenance. I'll come to you when I need you. No, he says, you need to come to me all the time. But don't come to me looking for solutions, because you hold the key to your breakthrough. But come to me for help. As regards to, hey, I've got a three-way for you. I got this. So you can see my embodiment when I'm in front of other people. So many people in the team right now are trying to look for what's holding them back rather than doing what they need to do, that what's holding them back will reveal themselves. There's so many
holding them back.
Distracted. Yeah.
It's exactly that's holding them back. Looking for the magic bullet is holding them back.
We all know what the phone does. It connects us. We know what to say. We know what to share. We know what to show. We know what to follow up. We know how to get people on board. We know how to get them started. We know all that. So if we're not doing that consistently, if we're not going to be a go-getter, the daily disciplines, the 15 exposures at least a week for full-timers, many of you are part-timers, 15 exposures a month, which is only 3 to 4 a week, it's nothing. Because this is an intimate group right now. We don't want you to miss Phuket.
No.
We don't want you to miss Phuket. But you're playing behind the 8 ball. You're behind schedule. You're way behind schedule. And that will compound. That will compound in the next month or two. You go, oh, now I'm never going to get a chance to get there. But so you've got to switch into activity. Activity, because action cures everything. And you see people around here this week, you have conversations with them, and you wonder how they got here, but they're here. So it's not even ability, and it's not talent, it's doing.
And
So we got to start doing.
What's been interesting for me, so talking to some of the people when we've been here, and they're desperate to know what we're all doing, because we have a different energy about us within our group, and yet they're not even doing the basics. They're not even doing the basics, and yet they're still here. So, they're doing something right, but it's channeling that and honing those techniques that we know that we're good at. We know we're good at getting customers. We know that some of us are good at getting partners, but it's honing those abilities that we have and focusing on it to get other people to do it. And it's our responsibility as people in the business to ensure that newest person gets through those fast starts, because that's going to build our business, it's going to build their business, and it's going to build their belief as well. And again, I think that was it's been really interesting that you look at some of the people and they have no idea how they got there. They have no idea how they got there, which is great, but you need to. I'd be floundering and going, well, how did I get here? How did I do that? But it's So some of them are aimlessly getting along, but
particularly if you want to qualify again.
Sorry.
I said, particularly if you want to qualify again, you want to figure out how you got there. Right. So I know you guys got a lot of things to cover, but folks, I would encourage you to do this. And the more I speak with people over the coming weeks or two, is remove your distractions and your excuses for 2 years. Remove your excuses and your distractions. Well, I'm just developing myself and I'm doing. Stop attraction marketing. Stop it all. Pick up the phone and be bold. We're at a 200 million sweet spot. We're going to 1 billion. We've got a wealth generational options that we can go to influencers, networkers, successful people and say, hey, David Atkin, I know you own a car dealership, but outside the car dealership, you keep your options open to projects. Could actually tap into, over the next 24 months, a 2 million share gifting. Well, what's that all about? It's in the health and wellness space. That if you build a certain program within our opportunity, you're going to be gifted 2 million euros right now that are worth at 8 shares. But the way we're going from 200 million to 1 billion, those shares are going to be worth a lot more than that in the next 24 months. Can't promise you because we can't make any we're not financial advisors. But is that something you want to explore further with me? Folks, we have something, particularly in network marketing, that has never been done before, not even Herbalife. And there's a thing that's coming. We know, and Kirsten did a great talk on the back of Orions, and there's 3 types of companies. And we've either been in some of these, if you're blessed to be in New Zealand for the first time, that's a blessing. But you've got the companies that are really struggling. Like, imagine a picture of a beach, and you're already on the beach. These are companies that are really not making any money. They're floundering around. They're trying to sell a product that's a fad. People make a bit of money, and then they're looking for the next thing. Then you've got the wave of companies. You've got the wave, the bigger old ones like Jeunesse, and you've got the companies that have come and gone like Monavie, and people made money, but a wave eventually hits the shore and it's gone. But then you've got the third type of company, which is where we're at. we're the innovators, and we're the ones that are building the ocean that creates the waves. We never want to be the wave. We want to be the wave maker. Herbalife is a wave maker. They started losing weight with a shake. Now there's people that if you want to lose weight or build muscle, you generally do it with a shake in mainstream. So they were the wave maker. For FLP, aloe vera, 80% of the world's aloe vera produce actually comes from an FLP farm. Cinzino are test-based nutrition. We're not on the beach. We're not even a wave. We're an ocean. We're in the blue. And there's networkers that are in 2 and 1, and when their income stops, or when they stop, their income stops. When the opportunity stops, the income stops. Here, we've got something the globe needs. We're creating waves, and we got a wealth creation option as well. Folks, you don't need any more personal growth. You don't need anything other than pick up the phone and make a call.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
health important to you? Yes, it is. Great. If there was a test, would you? Hey, Nigel, outside of your other business interests, do you keep your options open to projects? Well, it depends. That's all we do, guys. That's all we do. And you all know that. If anything stops us right now that we can't put our finger on, it's fear still. And if it's fear, then it's either because you don't like rejection or you haven't clarified that moves you the most. And if you keep telling me, well, it's my grandkids, it's this, it's that, and you're not taking action, it's not. It's not. This business is very simple. It's so worth it. And you all deserve it. So whatever it is, excuses, distractions, if it's not your faith, your family, your mainstream income, for everything else for the next 12 months to 24 months, put it on hold. Because when the shares hit 24 euros, when the shares hit 30 euros, and maybe we're still floundering around at platinum, we go, oh my Lord, there's shares waiting to be given to me. And people will be joining this business new for the first time, this industry, or those looking for their final home. And you don't want to miss any of them. And you only need one in your left and one in your right. Somebody who's hungry in your left and right. Someone who's built before in your left and right. You're done. Then you may want to tap into personal growth because some of those leaders that you bring on, you may not be able to handle them.
Yeah.
Until then, don't worry about it. It's all about getting in front of as many people as possible. So hope you have a blessed weekend. Sue, it's been nice spending time with you. I know I'm going to be on a plane in a minute with you. But, you know, folks, there is no way that Sue could ever express the feeling of being at these events. You can't transfer it. You got to trust us. You got to trust us. You got to do whatever it takes to be in Phuket. And by the way, you can't do it on your own.
Yeah.
You got to do it with the help of the team.
Yeah.
Okay, so Nigel, thank you for holding the fort. I heard you did a great job with the team presentation on Wednesday. So we've got another one for the library. Everybody else, start practicing the team presentation because we need more presentations in the library.
Yeah.
And make sure you get everybody on the team huddle in 2 weeks' time because we're going to be rolling out some new things for the team. Okay, so love you all.
I appreciate you,
see you in a few moments, Sue.
Yeah,
I'll be in the pool. I'll be in the pool, Sue, waiting for you.
I'll be down there shortly. Thanks a lot.
With a
Right,
daiquiri.
guys. God bless.
Yeah, with a nice daiquiri. Yeah.
God bless. I tell you, it's been very, very enlightening, and you know, kind of, we will share as soon as we kind of get back and I get everything uploaded onto computer and everything, because I took a lot of notes, a lot of information, a lot of snapshots of things that were done in presentations. But oh my word, we you know, the more I look at it, as Dave said, you know, we're playing small. We've been worrying about the 1,000 a month. We've been worrying about the 500 a month. Come on, guys. There are people here who have been in for 5 minutes who are making ridiculous amounts of money. So Hakan, who is the Turkish guy who came on at the middle of last year, and they had no product. So all of you moaning about, oh, my box is dented and what have you, it hasn't arrived properly and things like that. Just forget that, shelf that, please. It's just, it sometimes happens and we just have to move on from that. But in that time, with them having no product, no tests available, bad deliveries, fluctuating, currency up and down every minute, literally, almost daily, weekly rather, their currency exchange changed. But despite that, he earned 580,000 euros. 580,000 euros. And yes, they're networkers, and yes, they have accumulated a big team, but there's no reason that you can't do it too. Most of you have all been in networking before. Not everyone, but a lot of you have been in networking before. Go and find those people who were in your group and just say, you have to look at this. You have to look at this, because this is really breaking the mold. It's been an emotional trip. It's been quite incredible. Nigel, I'm going to let you say something now if you want.
I'm not sure that's a good thing to say. Let's talk about next year's Phuket then, because for now, because understanding what your goals are is an important thing to do, as long as you have set it as a goal, of course. Now, if you go into your back office, you'll see the campaign rules. I could share my screen very quickly just to show you how to get to it. We won't cover it in great detail because I want to focus a little bit on one other thing.
Co-host, hang on a minute. I'll just make you co-host. Hang on.
Thank you. Let me share my screen. There's a director trip. Share. You go into campaigns and pull up. Just scroll down until you get to. So on the first page, when you log in, right in the middle of that first screen that you see when you're in your account is ongoing campaigns. Click on that, and up comes what's actually current, and about 2 layers down is the director trip for next year and the 2025 rules for that. And you can click on the core of it is that you collect 200 director trip points, and you can check what director trip points you've got, which is they're created by recruitment essentially, and progression of those people who have been recruited in principle. I'm not going to drill into the real detail because there's a presentation on it that tells you that. But essentially, when you bring on a customer, it's a point. You bring on a partner, it's a point. But then when the partner ranks up, you get additional points for that trip. So it's all linked to essentially new activity, whether that's in customer terms or in terms of progression for new partners. So it's relatively straightforward. 200 director trip points. It's slightly more than it was last year when it was only 150. And that's because it's an extra day and it's Phuket. In other words, it's actually halfway around the world instead of just local for those of us in Europe. And so the expenses are going to be much greater. And maintaining your director status. So a brand new director, any of you on this call who aren't director, which is pretty much everybody, just by going director, you qualify for it. It's essentially 1 month's worth of qualification will take you there. If you're looking to do it through customers, then you have to have 200 customers, and they have to be maintained at 200 or more for 4 months, 4 consecutive months. So you've got less time in which to do it if you're going to go the customer route. Because remember, this campaign ends on the 31st of October. So you'd have October, September, August, July. So you'd have to have 200 during July. in order to qualify for it that way. The better way, of course, is to do it by ranking up. And I'm going to share share what Hilda's put together in terms of going executive with a new partner in the first 90 days, because it essentially is the duplication, which you all know I bang on about an awful lot. Because what we have to equip people with is the ability to help others do the same thing that they have done. Because that process then makes them independent of you, although part of the team as such, and there to support them, but they know what they're doing in terms of being able to start to recruit. Why does that work? Well, in turn, they're doing the same thing for their own people. That means you're not the point of focus for everyone in your organization. And one of the biggest challenges is being too busy because you're busy helping other people to do it, or doing it for them. Don't do it for them, teach them how to do it. You all know the adage of, you know, teach a person to fish and you'll feed them for a lifetime. Feed them fish and you've got to go on doing it. So stop feeding them fish, teach them how to fish, essentially. So this is the basic of what the campaign is about, and there is a very short video showing where we're going, which I'm going to run now, just quickly. Phuket, Thailand. Tell me if you can hear it all right. Hopefully you can. Can you hear that?
No.
No, I don't know why. Hang on a minute. No, it should be able to hear it. I don't know why you can't hear it.
It
'Cause I
might be
can't.
on your share screen, Nigel.
What's that?
When you share screen, sometimes you have to click sound.
Oh, do you? Oh, that's
Yeah.
news to me.
We can all go and find it.
Yeah, you can go.
Yeah,
there.
well, it's on that. It's in the campaign details. There's a link to that that video within it. So Phuket it's a milestone event. There'll be a lot more people there, I suspect, than there were this year in Lanzarote.
Interestingly enough, we were sat with
Sharing.
Jakob last night, and he was saying, you know, the challenge is that finding somewhere that's big enough. You know, we're 600 plus here now. We were 520 plus in Mexico, but they're looking at, you know, kind of, it's going to be at least, I think, 750 people. 750 people. That's hard to find a resort that big, all inclusive, that allow you to.
I suspect that what will happen next after that is it will become the crown trip, not the director trip.
I don't know.
Well, it used to be the diamond trip.
Yeah.
Before we joined. So because they won't be able to find places to do it unless they go to America. I mean, the Opryland could do it, but who wants to go to the Opryland for a week? No, thanks. It's not got quite the cachet of Phuket.
No, but it's
That's in Nashville, by the way, for those of you who don't know.
Yeah.
And it is a massive hotel. It's got 7,000 bedrooms, so we could accommodate a lot of people. But, you know, it's just a big American hotel. It's not much fun, really. We've been to several. We did a couple of trips there.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's 4-star, but it's not quite what Zeno, I think, is trying to put across.
Yeah.
So yeah, get yourself the director is the key. How do you do that? You duplicate activity, but you've got to create the momentum behind the duplication, and then that can only happen if you're actually bringing people on yourself. And so it's an ask, but it isn't impossible. And as we have seen in recent times with new markets opening, where they've got a networking history, there's rapid growth potential. There is here in the UK. It's just that we're essentially a little bit behind everyone else in terms of the scale of the networking. But that doesn't mean safe.
I think we just need to increase our energy, our personal energy, because that then instills excitement in other people when they see people being excited. That's what really kind of goes, okay, right, what have I got to do? But it's ignorance on fire, isn't it? you have to become ignorance on fire. But but yeah, you cannot quantify the benefit and the value of what we have experienced this week. It's
So yeah, so get out of your way, because the reason why we're all why I stuck my hand up. Actually, I've had a bit of a revelation this week, an epiphany, if there is such a thing. I'm in my way. I'm in my own way, overthinking it, and it's just got to get out of my own way and start taking action instead of trying to refine the action to such an extent it's going to be more effective. In which case, it's just not being effective at all. So it's get out of your own way and get on with it in terms of connections, because that's the secret.
I'm also going to share with you one exciting thing that happened yesterday. As our brand ambassador Tom Chilton, who's a friend of ours, and he has now been officially sponsored by Zinzino.
First time ever they've done anything like this.
I don't think it's the first time ever, but I think there's been very few. But so they've actually put together an ambassador elite program, which is a sponsorship. So they've sponsored him for 45,000 euros, and so we're waiting to see what that will give us as far as livery will be concerned. And it was Tom's birthday yesterday, and they launched the new livery of the race car for Bristol Street Motors, which he's part of, and so he's really happy. And so I think you'll be seeing an awful lot more of him at meetings when he's available, when he's not racing. And also we have actually committed to with Steve Morley to doing not every single race, because it's like every other week. I haven't got the energy to do that, and stand all weekend, talking to people. But it will give a huge amount of opportunity for people also who want to come and do the stand with us at some of the events that, some of the race events that we're able to do, to actually partake in that. Now, not everyone's going to be able to take part, but obviously they're all UK and Scotland, so it's really wanting to have some of our team there that we can actually then share out some of those contacts that we make at those places. So it could improve customers. Obviously we want to improve Tom's customers as well, and that's the main reason for doing it. But it's also to improve our ability to actually talk to people about it. So I think it will be a really good thing. They love him. They absolutely love him. They think he's amazing. And it's made them step up with their other ambassadors as well. So that's been really quite interesting for me to see you said, we've asked now people to step up and be more active, because Tom has been active, which is good. So it's so I'm quite excited about that. I've yet to speak to Tom personally. I've texted him, but not spoken to him personally. So we'll perhaps get him on a call, and obviously we can see where we go forward there, which is exciting. Nigel, back
I was just having a look at the launch. Obviously, they haven't managed to do any decalization of Zinzino on the car just yet.
Tom put together one, but it's going to be done by next week, apparently.
Right. So watch this space, because we'll talk about that. And so anybody involved in motor racing that you might happen to know, we can start to leverage Tom's sponsorship, Zinzino's sponsorship of Tom, to our benefit. At least it's a door opener, because it shows that the company's serious. I remember the years way back. In fact, I probably shared this story with you before. Juice Plus, you will all have heard of Juice Plus, because it came out of NSA. But Juice Plus sponsored LA Galaxy. Sorry, not LA Galaxy. No. They did sponsor Juice LA Galaxy, I think, in the end. But they just retained OJ Simpson as a brand ambassador.
Plus OJ, yeah.
Literally the week he murdered his wife. So you have to choose your ambassadors very carefully.
So, not a good move, was it?
And in many ways, they can be, as a really good example of it. It can be counterproductive if you do choose the wrong people.
Yeah.
I think fortunately we've got a really good one with Tom because he's great eye candy
he's
and
planning on
he's a
murdering
very good
Georgina.
presenter as well. When
He's not planning on murdering Georgina yet.
Well, I don't think so. I hope not.
He said he just married her, so.
Yeah, exactly. So it can be counterproductive if you're
Coming to you.
Oh,
maybe you're sponsoring are wrong. Hi, Jax.
hello. I have been listening. So I was just going to ask that what Dave says, that really short, is your health important? Or, hey, do you look other than your business? Could you just get him to do a little soundbite? Could you just record him and
It's
send
here.
it to us?
It's here.
I will.
But
It's
just
on
like
here.
snip it.
Well, we could do that.
Yeah, it's just, I need to hear that over and over and over again.
And you have to practice it over and
Yes.
over again, and
Yeah.
I'm no different from you, Jax. I am not one who can like do a whole spiel of words without having notes. So
Yeah.
I'm not confident in that respect, and yet I know what I'm talking about.
You're
But
absolutely.
it's just having that practice. You've got to be doing it in the bath, in the mirror,
Yeah.
when you're doing the cooking and all sorts of things. So it becomes second nature. And but I'll get him to do that. I'll do that on the phone in a minute, and I'll post it. Into the group.
I like in front of him.
Yeah. It'll
Just-
probably
We
be
should-
in the pool.
Yeah.
we should have one of these sessions just purely on people doing a presentation
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
that, role playing just that, because I know what it's like. I used to train people how to make phone calls years ago when I ran the telemarketing agency. That's the first thing we did was we put three people through an induction on how to test them on their own ability to do this by ad-libbing and so on. And in most cases, you had to actually take people and get them to understand the formula.
Mm.
The formula is really simple. Once you get that scripted part of it done, the rest of it follows on without too much trouble. Because if you do it in the right way, and it's all about questioning rather than presenting, because the more you pitch, the less you get.
Yeah.
And I bang on about this as well. Always, it's about them. It's not about you. It's not about what we have. It's what they need. And that means uncovering the pains. Whatever's going through their situation at this stage. However, from what we do to get them to the presentational conversational stage, where you're talking to people, it is a question of, do you keep your options open to look at something? We need that yes/no part of the question before we can get to the point where we begin to understand enough about what they want for us to engineer what we have to fit what they want. And that's the point. You keep your options open. I was always taught, and I've said this many times before, I was always taught when I'm talking to people off your list, you're calling them first time round. It's, hey, John, how you doing? It's Nigel. Listen, answer me a question. Have you got time to make some money alongside what you're doing right now? Only 3 answers. Yes, no, what is it? Yes, great. I need an hour or a half an hour on a Zoom with you, or can we get together if it's physically possible locally? It's just go for the conversation that gets to the meat of the detail of what you've got. If it's a no, that's great. You just back out of the call. I've never had a no not turn into a what is it? Because the curiosity of the cat takes over. As soon as you go, well, that's fine. Okay, I just thought I'd ask. Listen, I've got some other calls I need to make. I'll let you know how I'm getting on with it. Well, what is it then? Always comes back like that. Well, look, that's why we need to have this Zoom call, or we need to get together. So what's your diary like on such and such? Let's do it. Okay with that? Yeah. Right. So what is it? Well, that will become clear when we have our conversation. I can't tell it to you. I can't tell you over the phone. It just gets lost in the fog. So let's have the Zoom. Then it'll be fully informed, and we can go from there. How's that? So you always do it in that way. And in Dave's case, it's health important to you. Yeah, that's the way he's engineers conversation. And do you keep your options open to look at other stuff run alongside what you're doing at the moment? Projects, as he determines it. I've always fall back on my own, my own training in that respect. Got time to make money? Let's get it down to the nitty gritty.
Mm.
So yeah, but Sue's right. Practice.
Yeah.
Because
Mm.
you always got people go through the stumble and mumble phase.
Yeah.
Oh, I just had to do a video myself, and like Kirsten asked us to do a video for like welcoming people to the team, so that we're going to put that on the team website. And it was so funny because we've all been putting our little kind of 1.5 minute like videos into the group here that we've got for the Lanzarote, and Kaylin and Paul, oh god, they were cracking me up. So we've got bloopers, I just burst out laughing. I went,
You should use the outtakes rather than the actuals.
It was really brilliant. They're really funny. And but it was so it was just like, welcome to the team. You're in a safe place here. I think that's really important for people to understand, whether they've been in networking before and been burnt by networking, or not feeling 100% confident, or brand new to networking. There's lots of different reasons that people need to know that they're in the right team. And that one of the things that has been really apparent to me, despite and what we were saying earlier about Michael Stuttler, Zinab, Fabian's group, they've all splintered off.
Yeah.
They've all splintered off into separate groups, which means that the business is developing and it's growing. And Marco's going, oh well, not everyone's coming onto my calls and things. And I'm going, you've created your own success, because now people are kind of saying, okay, we need this little group of people here and that little group of people there. So there's a group of people who in Michael Stuttler's and Sasha Huber, they're like 20 years old, 22 years old. So that's a different energy to what we have. Look at us old timers. Well, not all of them, but us old timers here. And Wasama, you're not in that group.
No.
but we've now got a group of young people in Ireland, who are 18 years old. So they may not energize with us, but they are so hungry to learn. They are so hungry to learn. So that's what we need to capture. And we need to be able to instill this, kind of camaraderie that you get. And we can all learn from each other. I can learn from Dave. I can learn from Dermot. I can learn from Angus. I can learn from Michael, Paul, Wasama, even Nigel and Tom.
Now you know where I am in the pecking order.
Yeah.
No, darling. Well, you're always my first. You're always my first.
With all these groups, it goes back to what Nigel just said, isn't it? It's teach them to fish.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's the essence of our business.
Don't try and I mean, the amount of times we see people going, oh, I'm just going to do this and I'm just going to do that. And we've seen it in the past, now we must be coming up into our 40th year of networking. And we've seen groups do exactly the same. I'm just going to go and do this in this way. And you watch their business start to crash down and you kind of go, why? Well, I just need to do this. Why? Just stop doing that and just crack on. And because it's just a distraction. It's just a distraction. We don't need those distractions. We've got everything we need, as Dave said earlier, everything we need. And what's apparent, as you start to see people develop in the business, you can see their challenges. You can see where their challenges are. You can see how their business is developing, because we have access to that in our back office. But so that upsets me when I kind of see people disappearing to do their own thing. And they don't need to. They don't need to do that. They don't need to do it. It's all here. Anyway, I'm going to love you and leave you in a minute, because
You're going off to the swimming pool, aren't you?
I'm going to go to the swimming pool. I need to swim.
Yeah.
I've only been swimming for the last 2 days, so but it's absolutely beautiful today. Clear blue sky. It's lovely. And it is the
Enjoy.
most stunning place. Really stunning. In fact, I don't know whether I can show you. Might
Go
be
on,
able
give us a
to-
quick tour.
Sorry?
Give us a quick tour.
Yeah, I'm going to give you a quick tour. Hang on a minute. Oh, don't look at my messy bedroom. Hang on a minute. Oh God, it's all got tangled up here. Hang on a second.
So while you're sorting out, wouldn't it be a good idea to have meetings regularly on telephoning and advising what to say and teaching on the best way to telephone?
Well, we have done that before, Dermot. Oh, hang on, my video's gone off. I don't know why. Hang on a minute. Let me just right. So we have done that before, Dermot, and
I know, but if we could repeat it.
yeah,
Well, it's easy, Dermot. You just three-way me in.
yeah, right.
Okay.
Pick the phone when you're calling people and you
Yeah.
want some help. Just
Trying to.
three-way me in. Simple.
So this is.
That's an offer for all of you, by the way.
This is from my balcony.
Mhm.
So C's there.
You see that? You see that little? Just pan left a little. Stop there, Sue. That little field with the wall running through it, just slightly to the right of the center of the picture. That's where they were all doing their high intensity training each morning.
Right.
That field was full each
It was
morning.
absolutely massively full.
And Sue, of course, was just observing that because
I was watching
Paris
from here,
thought she'd be down there doing any of it.
sidelines, but it's yeah. So I can't.
Oh, you've gone again. Sue, can't see. Actually, I think she's gone completely. Actually.
Yeah.
No, I haven't gone completely.
No,
Oh, there you are, back again.
I'm back. Oh, hang on. Where's my camera?
black.
Camera's not working. Don't know why.
You probably pulled it out.
No, I haven't. It's in.
Well, I can hear you. Anyway, well, rather than letting Sue while she tries to sort that out, I put in the chat the link to the 90-day to executive run.
Okay.
That is in Zinzino TV that Hilda has done. There's another one coming with 90 Day to Diamond. And essentially, it is all about duplication. But it's well worth watching because she explains the numbers in terms of the returns for each months of achievement over the first 120 days. And it's a really good, nicely worked video on a better and deeper understanding of how the payment, how you earn the money, like how you make the money out of that first 120-day period.
And
of course,
that's
it's relevant for anyone, whether it's 120 days or 30 days or a year or 2 years or whatever. It's pretty much it's the same in principle, except the fast start bonuses don't get paid in the same way if you stretch it beyond the 120 days.
Mhm.
Sorry, Dermot, you were about to say something.
Yeah, that's on Zinzino TV.
Yes, I put the link in the chat for you all. But if you go into Zinzino TV, it's actually currently on the first page. And of course, because they're chronologically ordered essentially at the moment, although that's being changed. They're re-indexing the way the videos are presented. It's just not being done for all of it. So for example, what they're doing is they're bundling together the same presentation but in different languages and putting them on a tabbed basis. So you'll end up with one tab on the video that gives you information about X, but then all the languages would be sub-tabs within the tab. So that's coming, and I suspect they'll index everything else the same way because it makes a lot more sense. It'll be a lot easier to find resource than it currently is. Right now, it's some of the time you can search and search and search and still not find something, as I'm sure you're all aware. Okay, we're coming up to the hour anyway. I'd encourage you all to watch that. It's 23 minutes long, but it's very comprehensive and it gives a way better understanding of the way the duplication happens. And that's a very good thing, even in its own right, because what we have to be clear about is what it actually means to find our two partners and help them in turn to find their two partners, because that structure essentially is the Lego brick the silver Lego brick that we talk about in terms of opening the plan up to everything else. If you want those share options, let's start think small in the sense of silvers, because lots of silvers make really big activity, and lots of people doing a little rather than one person doing a lot. That's what John Paul Getty said. I'd rather have 100% of 1% of 100 people's efforts than 100% of my own. In fact, I'm not entirely sure that wasn't Henry Ford, but there we are. Okay, on that note, anybody got anything they want to add? Comment?
No, we need to crack
Yes.
on.
Yeah. Get on the phone, guys. Start
Okay.
making it happen. Have a great weekend, everyone. Speak
Lovely.
soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Cheers.